Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's time to start the day. I'm so sorry to interrupt your fantastic demo taking place, but thankfully we will have a couple of breaks during our event. Great that there's already interest there. So welcome everyone to Aalto Creatives Demo Day. Fantastic to see so many of you here. And I also want to extend a warm welcome to people following the event online via the stream. My name is Nunnu Karppinen. I typically spend my days in a post-production company called Post Control Helsinki, where we work with film series, commercials, and any audiovisual products, really. But I'm really excited to be spending the day here in Marsio in the Saastamoinen Foundation stage, I think this is called, today, and learn about what the creative startups have been creating in the past 11 weeks or so. For those who are not familiar yet with the program, Aalto Creatives is a pre-incubator program which essentially kind of helps creative startups grow their ideas into business. The program is supported by the City of Helsinki, and it is part of Helsinki-based higher education institutions Campus Incubators Network. I got it. The program is coordinated by Aalto Startup Center and Aalto Studios. Today's program is pretty straightforward. I trust that you have checked it. We'll start with the fireside chat here on stage about investment in creative industries, and then take a quick break so people can go back to the demo that was taking place there. And then after the break, we will dive into the pitches, much anticipated pitches from this autumn's pre-incubator participants. There's also going to be another short break in between the pitches, and during those days, indeed, go, if you haven't already familiarized yourself with the desks around the stage. There are 4 demo stands here today, and they are all Aalto Creatives alums from last spring. And then after the program ends, of course, we invite you to stay on for coffee and networking. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's dive into the first order of business, the first part of the program. Help me welcome warmly COO Milja Mäkelä from FiBAN. Please join me on stage. Together with founder Kai Lin-Veltheim from Jet Set Play. Welcome, Kai. Great. Welcome. Introductions are in order. I have a very glossy, fantastic introduction that I can read partially, but then I want to hear from your own words. Who are you and why you're here and what's your approach to the theme? So Kai, you're a serial entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience launching and leading ventures across tech, retail, hospitality and wellness in Singapore and Dubai. And you bring kind of both founder and investor perspectives. Please tell us more, Kai.
Yeah, so I can share a little bit of what it looks like starting a business from scratch, working in it, and then eventually being able to exit, and then now also looking to invest in some other small companies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you yourself, you're a serial entrepreneur, but you also come from a family of serial entrepreneurs operating both in Singapore and Dubai, but you also were taking part in the pre-incubator program here.
Yes, so I took the opportunity to join my friend as a business development, to kind of join the Finnish network to kind of see what kind of connections or friends that I can make in this ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your key takeaway from that experience?
I think it's really, really interesting to see how things are really different here, to see the difference, but also to see the similarities that all businesses face.
I want to hear more about those differences later. Moving on to Milja Mäkelä, the COO of FiBAN, Finnish Business Angels Network, and a former startup founder and a seasoned marketing and communications consultant with a focus on tech, startups, PR and storytelling. What does it mean in practice, Milja?
Well, that means that I have had my fair share of failing as an entrepreneur before I joined FiBAN and looked at things from the investor side. So I have had a path of learning from multiple industries. And in addition to that, I actually started my career in the creative industries, film, crowdfunding and event marketing, music marketing. I'm a musician too, so I have that background as my roots until I found my way through medical marketing to startups. And it's been a very, very good journey so far. So.
Multi-talents I kind of read from this, both of you, and also what we will be hearing later in the pitches, absolutely. So the guiding questions that I received from the organizers for these conversations were as follows. Investment in creative industry startups. How to attract angels and VCs. What does it look like now, and what could the road to success look like? Minor task, we have 38 minutes to, no, well, we'll take it one bite at a time. But I guess we should start with terminology, just to make sure that everybody understands what, if they are not familiar with the terms, if we're talking about angels, business angels, VCs or venture capitalists and possibly family offices as well, I think, it's good if we kind of get to know these different profiles. So Milja, would you introduce us?
Yeah, I'll try to be good at this. Yeah. However, let's start with angels. Angel investors are private individuals investing their own money into whatever they like. Traditionally in Finland, it's been very techy. However, we've seen a lot of movement to variety of industries. Food is very popular, food tech and food industry impact, defense, as you can imagine. But lately, creative industries are really interesting, have become really interesting to angel investors. So they're private individuals who decide on themselves what to invest in, and smaller sums than maybe institutional investors. And then venture capital investors are companies that invest other people's money, typically angel investors or other wealthy people's money. So it's like a service where you aim to have quite high profits. So that is something that entrepreneurs benefit along the way of their growth. Not in the beginning, typically, depends on the venture capital firm, but along the way, if you want to grow fast, hard internationally, at some point you might encounter a negotiation with the VC.
Yeah, well, it's typically exit driven.
Yeah, yeah, and you gotta have quite big exits to compensate on the losses. That's how they think. That's the portfolio thinking. However, that's how angels approach things. That you might have a few, or most of your investments fail, and that's just something you live with. You take the risk. And family offices, I think they're somewhere in between. They're wealthy families who invest money that they have accumulated, maybe selling a company or through generations, and then it's literally a family-run business where you invest some of your assets. I would say it's something like that, but feel free to compliment.
Yeah, would you like to add something, Kai, to these profiles?
I think in terms, you can think about it in terms of the stages of where you will look for investment. If you were pre-seed, or if you need something else to kind of make a really expensive product to propel it forward, then you will go with a VC. But in the beginning, I feel it has been easier for us just to go with business angels or family investors.
Yeah, typically, of course, you probably know pre-seed phases is the classic sort of family and friends or family and friends and fools round, and then you go to find business angels. But were you familiar with the business angels sort of getting organized like this before coming to Finland, like FiBAN, or because earlier when we had a quick chat before the panel or this conversation, you mentioned that, well, typically you would just go to an uncle and ask for a loan. And so, I was just curious.
So usually in Asia and in Dubai is relational. Everything is relational. You have to know somebody. Or our first major investor has been our customer for 5 years and has go through with us through different businesses. And it's built on relationship and it's built on trust. And when someone says, usually it's really not transactional. They just really love your product or love what you're doing, and they feel like they want to be part of the journey.
Yeah.
So it's really, really relational, and it's very important that you go out and talk to everybody and anybody that you have a business idea and you're doing this, that. Maybe they're just listening and they don't tell you that they have money. that is usually the case, that nobody will tell you that they have money, and that only after the fourth or fifth conversation, then they might initiate something like, oh, are you looking for investor? And then it comes like this, like it's very non-transactional. It's very different from what just happened in Slush, where you book all the meetings and then you talk to 20 people. It's really different. It's kind of this day-to-day people that you meet, people that you work with, your customer, or even your business advisors.
Very different. Also slightly mysterious, if I understand correctly. But well, talking about going back to FiBAN and the Finnish Business Angels sort of network and their kind of modus operandi, a typical sort of business angel, what would you say paints us a picture of a stereotypical business angel?
Well, first to jump into what you just said about like how business angels are maybe in Singapore and Dubai, I would say that somewhere in between, Finnish business angels are quite approachable because they're somewhere like spread around us. But they might not say like, hey, I have money. Like it's the same. They don't want to. Well, some of them shout it out, and that's fine. And that means that come to me for money if they shout it out. But yeah, I think they are generally quite approachable, and you need to build trust, just like you described. It's the same here. You need to maybe meet them 5 or 6 times, pitch 3 times, and then they might invest if they have seen enough development. Your original question, please.
Oh, I don't remember anymore. Well,
paint a picture about a typical angel.
Mm-hmm.
So a typical angel, statistically, like according to our databases and research, is a 50-year-old man who has gained wealth selling their company in an exit.
So typically a tech
company quite often, but we have, of course, women as angels too. So it's just statistically like more likely that it's a man. 16% of our members are women, and the rest are men or non-binary or non-defined.
Did you say 16? 16.
16, yeah. It used to be less, so it's growing, but we're working on to grow that even more, so that it would be more balanced. And yeah, in Finland, it's quite typical that it's an exited entrepreneur, more serial entrepreneur, so like yourself, like the typical profile, like in that from a professional view.
And keeping on in the statistics, what would you say is the typical ticket size or investment size that they go into a young company?
A median ticket size at FiBAN is 20,000 euros, but that's not the only investment you receive from an angel, as it's just one person's ticket, which means that they usually invest in groups. So ideally, you would maybe seek for 200K, and you get like 10 to 20 angels to get convinced about your business, and in total you get like 200K.
Exactly. So it's individually smaller tickets, but they syndicate and share risk, in other words.
Yeah.
And then sort of join in the joys of a startup and the highs and lows, basically, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And of course, some have larger ticket sizes. They're more wealthy. They can put in 200K alone.
Yeah.
But that's a smaller amount in Finland of people.
And we are really staying on in the sort of business angel phase, because today we are listening to early sort of pre-seed, seed funders who are in that stage. So that's why I kind of thought that it's good that we stay in this profile longer than perhaps others. If you think of angels as early believers in the company and VCs as a scale engines or backing the growth potential, but most of the companies, if not all today, are in the early stage who need early believers in their businesses. So what would you say your FiBAN members are now looking for from creative industries?
Like with any industry, they look at the business. How is the business run? How is the core set up? Are you making money with your business? How much are you making on a monthly, recurring basis? So how is the business side of things? That matters a lot. Even if they don't know your industry, all angels would look at the numbers. Like, is this company, does this indicate that I could make money with it? Because they are investing to make money. They're not investing out of pure heart. That happens too, but I can't say that that's like the number one reason why they invest. They invest to make more money. So that's why they look at numbers. They might be super excited about your product. However, if the business is not rolling, it's not yet the time for a business angel. That's how it is at the moment, I would say. So
Would you
that's
agree?
number one thing they look.
Would you agree, Kai? I mean,
I think beyond the numbers, they also look at the team. So in terms of running a business, if you have ever ran a business, you know the hardest person to hire is the business manager. So if you don't already have a person with very good business acumen in your team that can make you your budget and your forecast and kind of paint a picture of where this is going in terms of numbers, you need that person in your team. And it's your job to go and find it. The investor is not going to find this person for you. So if you have a good team with really good business acumen, then we trust that perhaps you will go somewhere.
Yeah.
But if you don't even know how to write a forecast or look at budget, or you don't even understand your costs, like your costs should be off the top of your head because you've been like obsessing over it. If you don't understand your costs, you don't understand the business, then no one will put money into this very high risk situation.
Sure. And then, of course, if we stick to the topic of the team, which is the classical, maybe slightly sort of cliched sort of focus point, but is ever so relevant, of course, if you are speaking of about a creative startup. And there, if it's an IP driven, if it's sort of what is the product, who is the person, you know, the team or the person behind it, what is their track record as well, if it's an early starter or a person with a new company with no business so far but wanting to get going. Of course, people are going to be interested in what they've done it before, who they worked with before, and what's the track record there. Would you?
Yeah. I absolutely agree. The team comes up a lot with our investors, and the reason is also that, okay, if I would set up a company in engineering and I know shit about engineering, that would not be like a good team member.
Yeah.
So I mean, like if I would solo set, well, now okay, now there's AI, but that's just an example that the team people, like even if you don't have much experience, you have to show somehow how are you relevant to this industry. How are you able to navigate this industry, especially in certain very regulated industries? It's very important that the industry knowledge is there in the founder team. And of course, the business knowledge, as said. And then one feature of a good team is ability to pivot, as in you see that something doesn't work out, you have to have the bravery to change direction and like find a way. And that's pivoting, and that's a resourcefulness, and very appreciated.
And not doing that is one of the key reasons why companies tend to fail, young companies, if they are not sort of reacting into sort of signals that they are getting early on. And I don't know, do we need the reminder that 80% of startups actually do not succeed always? So it is a trial and error, but you know, that's why we are also here to try and avoid those pitfalls and how to get going and how to get a solid base for your company.
And just to add to the failing part, there's no shame about failing. It's more like if an investor knows you have failed in a few companies, or maybe they have even invested in your previous companies, you still fail, that's fine. You can still go to the same investor typically if you didn't embezzle their money or anything. You can go back and ask, how about, do you believe us in this round and this company? So there's no shame in failing. Most startups fail until at one time you succeed, and that's about.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to say that.
That's a good point. Okay, so we've talked about sort of having your numbers correct and having a proper business manager, having the right team, but what about the product itself, being it a product or a service?
The product, of course, matters, because otherwise, how are you going to make money with a shitty product? I mean, of course, there's waste, but it's good to be like the craftsman or craftsperson of your industry, or somehow find a real problem to solve, a real problem to solve to real people that actually are in pain with something.
Yeah. What problem it solves, how it changes the world, ideally, or someone's experience that is big of a cohort to change.
Well, then we can talk about product market fit.
Speak a little louder.
Product market fit essentially means can you sell your product? Is it selling? Like, will people buy it? So it doesn't matter if you have sold like 5 or 20 or 100, you have to be able to sell your product. If no one is buying a product, then it doesn't mean anything. So I always say this, it's more important to stay in the green, to be making profit, than to have your ego. Like, you have to have, at one point, go, something is wrong with this product. I don't know what it is, but it's not selling. It's time to revisit and look at our product. Like, what is wrong with it? If you just keep pushing the same thing and telling us, like, oh, we just need to put more marketing money into this thing that doesn't sell, well, the thing is not going to sell. So we go back to the point of pivoting. Like, don't be afraid to pivot, don't be afraid to try something new. Yeah. That it's very important to kind of have this idea that this thing must make profit. If it doesn't make profit, then it's a charity, then it's something else.
This brings to mind, going back to the business angel profile, why working with the business angels is a good thing, because, well, like you said earlier, the Finnish business angels tend to have a tech background, and they tend to look for tech companies, because that's typically what they've been working with, that's what they're familiar with, and that's where they have their networks in, and that's where they also can bring in added value, right? So is it still so that the majority of your members are looking for sort of investment sort of targets, if you like, from the industries that they are most familiar with? But what else can a business angel bring on the table from the point of view of a founder?
Just to answer the kind of the first branch of this, like food tech and food is really popular, as I maybe mentioned. So it doesn't always have to be tech, or it might have some other elements that can be scaled. The scalability is the key for most. However, there's value-driven investing too, where the goal is not to get 10x of your investment back. It might be just to get it back at some point. So, but I was just to follow from Kai's point of, like, if you realize that your product is not working, but you have an angel perhaps sitting, in your board or having a mentor, just the added value of an angel in this situation. Yeah, and that's why it's actually, because angels bring networks. They are experienced business people, like usually from their industries that they know. So it is valuable to have someone like that with networks and experience in your board, for example, or advisory board, if board is like a too high threshold. Advisors are always also recommended to have for your company, because they can help you meet people or get access to people that could help you grow your business. So that's the idea there, where an angel can be a valuable individual in your company, even if it's not like a high ticket or a big investment. But also it matters what type of angel. Like, not any angel is for everyone. It's more like if an angel investor knows your industry or knows, let's say they are really good at finances, they can look at your finances. So maybe they don't know your industry, but they might be able to pinpoint some like what's gonna happen here in some business projections. So there's different kind of added value that these kind of individuals can bring to a company. Exactly, and essentially, angels are there to help as well. They are there to get those monies returned, but of course, one of the drivers is to help the company and sort of help them grow, help them shape their pivot, help them shape the things, and eventually get their money back, but to share their experience and to give back, I guess, because you mentioned that many of your members are ex-entrepreneurs or who have sold out and sort of made their wealth by selling their own company. So perhaps one driver for them is to give back in a way. Yeah, there is the giving back mentality quite often, especially if they have been an entrepreneur themselves. They know that it can be quite a tricky and painful road at worst, and very rewarding at best. And then of course there's the aspect of angels are also wait, no, now I dropped it.
So I can jump in. Before that, you were saying, like, yes, while the investors are choosing you, you should also be actively choosing them.
Yes. How do you choose a good investor?
So a good investor has to open doors for you. Open doors for you to places that you cannot access without them. So this is one of the biggest things that we look when we invite people to invest, or this is just like in this industry, even if they are not in this industry, they will know somebody who is in the industry. And then you go and approach this person through a warm introduction. So that is very, very important. So one is to kind of get into the industry. If you want to lead the niche, you want to become a leader in this particular niche where you want to enter, you have to know the biggest player, and they should provide you access there. So you should go like really, really narrow and find like these specific people or these specific companies that I can talk to. And then you go there and then you widen from there. But like you have to do the homework to find out which investor will be the best fit for your product.
Yeah. Milja, do you want to continue?
Yeah, definitely, because it happens sometimes that we get these like a lot of bulk emails from people who are looking for money, and they have sent it to all info mails of all investors in the world, and there's no focus, and they're like, that's the wrong approach. I'm saying that because it's the wrong approach. You should rather narrow down, like you said, like to very specific investors and only approach them, ask feedback. Why not now? I'll contact you later when we have made progress, and stay in touch with the investors even if they reject you, because a rejection is not necessarily, it doesn't mean no, it means later. So
maybe.
Just always think of it as later. Even if they say, okay, if they say no, I'm going to block you, then
well, they will block you if you just keep sending random weekly emails. But if you have something to update them with, or if there's been a development that you want to sort of let them know, just popping in to let you know that this year we all, actually sort of raised so and so much, because of course, correct me if I'm wrong, but having an example from other investors, showing the example that, okay, you have other investors who have believed in you, perhaps this can help you to, step over the fence.
Yes, absolutely. Always does. Like if you can name an investor and they're like, hey, I know Markku, then they're like, I might be the next.
Or if Markku did this, then will I too. Yeah.
Or I would say also with some funding of some loans that could come through the funding instruments. If you say I have already like won this competition, I have like this 250,000 interest-free loan that I could draw down. If somebody would match the investment, there's also a great validation.
Yeah.
Well, finding the right investor, Milja, do you have any pointers to, well, you said approach them directly. Finland is very lateral. We all know there is no sort of hierarchy as such. You can find, people's, I guess, almost, mobile phone numbers from just like browsing the internet. But what would you say, what would be a good way, the most efficient way? Is it through getting an introduction that is a qualified introduction, or just a cold call or email? Anything goes?
Both work. It's just a matter of how long you have. So if it's a warm introduction, like you demonstrated pretty well, that it's a bit maybe faster to get into someone's inbox, or they might actually
pay attention.
Pay attention. However, if you cold call, just remember that it takes a few calls and meetings to build the trust. So,
yeah, both ways, I believe. Going back to the sort of both DD that goes both ways in a way, that how do you choose the right investor for you? What do you need to be sure of? Because you're going to be tied into this Markku, Mr. Markku, for years to come. You're not going to be able to, within months, if you realize that, oh, shoot, this is not going too well, and we actually share different vision, and he's after something else, and a year from now, your shares may be not so valuable. You can't sell them. There's not necessarily a buyer. So what's any other golden nuggets from you when choosing an investor? What do you need to be sure of?
Don't take anyone's money. Make sure that you have a good gut feeling about them, and ask if you see that they have a portfolio of companies. Maybe you want to call the founders to ask, how is it to work with this person? Because often an investor might want to be in your board, and if an investor, if they actually want the good of your company, well, that will benefit them as investors. But if they want the good of your company, they are easy to work with. But if they're just looking after their money to get their money back, then they're not thinking of the good of your company. So ask from that perspective from other founders, how is it to work with this person? Are they collaborative, or are they dominating? Are they easy to work with? these kind of things matter.
Absolutely, and surely, he's going to be making calls behind you as well. So it's totally normal that people ask, who has. Markku will call around and see, who you've been working with, and have you delivered, and what type of person you're to do business with, and so on. So it surely goes both ways. And I guess ensuring the shared vision, that you both are signing the same strategy. You have the same goals, you have the same milestones. Your yearly sort of calendar looks the same strategically, where you're aiming and those types of things.
So I think in the beginning, say you're asking money from family or friends or a rich uncle or auntie, always treat the money like a loan and be responsible with it. And you have to plan your business in such a way that you are thinking actively all the time, how can I pay them back?
Yeah.
Because you should make enough profit to be able to pay them back and more. And if you can't do that, then you shouldn't be in charge of this money.
For sure.
Yeah, so in the beginning, just you have to have like this, someone gave you money, so you have to keep thinking, oh, how do I pay them back? And then I have to pay my employees, I have to pay the cost and rent and whatever, but then you have to make enough profit. And if you don't make enough profit, then you're pricing yourself wrong. Yeah. Then this is a product that is not sustainable and your business will not work.
Yeah.
So just being very responsible with the money and not just like, oh, I paid salaries and it's gone. And that's not responsible.
Yeah, it's not sustainable as a business.
Yeah, and not sustainable as a business.
Well, staying with you, Kai, our comparative analysis, Singapore, Dubai experiences, could you identify some signals that trigger interest sort of immediately in your sort of international experience? In creative startups or startups in general, and are there signals that cause hesitation?
I think Finland is very much also like, I get the same sense like in this Asian...
Similar.
Yeah, where we are very relational and we take words from other people. We take words from our peer very seriously. We would go and call up this other person in this industry and say, have you heard of these guys? And then have you worked with this person? And then if I've made 10 phone calls and I haven't heard like anyone who knows you, then I won't even proceed.
Yeah.
So it's very, very important that you put yourself out there, you go to these events, you talk to everybody. Even someone that just come to your stand and ask you about your product, talk about it. Try to build a connection, try to be genuine and try to just talk about it authentically.
Yeah.
So then someday down the road, someone would have heard of your name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
or they would say, oh yeah, they were part of this Aalto program. Yeah, they're really good. The Aalto students, they do really well. It's kind of a thing that you could build on. So then just stay in this ecosystem, participate in the other ecosystems, and kind of get your name out there.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to shout about it, so that people will hear you, because it will be like second or third degree. So yeah, there's the similarity. Like you still need to be known by somebody.
Sure. Is there something that you recognize that the creative startups could learn from other industries, tech startups or others? Are there stereotypical sort of profiles in there, or?
I think the learning goes both ways. Tech startups could learn about market, like they don't do enough marketing in Finland. I'm just talking about Finland. So like typical Finnish tech startup invests into marketing last. However, with creative industries, or creative economy businesses, you think of that a bit earlier, which is good because that is quite important. That's something that could learn.
Sort of storytelling, brand building.
Yeah, the storytelling and
thing.
branding part, because that is what leaves a trace in people's hearts. If you can create emotion, they will remember you. But if you just talk about product, it's gonna just kill everyone with boredom. And that's just a typical problem with a lot of startups, despite the industry. So storytelling, if you do that well, definitely stick to that and then see what is the next thing that you can improve.
Well, stick to this storytelling thing. Let's discuss this a little bit more.
Yeah, more like that. It's just about communicating things in a way that even your grandmother can understand, but also ensuring that your target audience, the people who are about to buy or you want them to buy, that they understand what you're selling, what problem it solves, what pain it solves, and you are the solution, and you talk through emotion. In that way, you can kind of leave that emotional trace. So I am the cure to your pain is kind of the core of for any business. If you communicate like that and you communicate to the right person, then you leave a mark and they will buy, because that's ultimately about it.
You turn the branding into traction.
Yeah. I'd say that. However, like a startup, there is still the business, like the startups are very familiar with how to talk with angels or how to talk with investors or where does the money come from. They're very resourceful, and I think it's more like not anyone's fault. It's more like the ecosystem in the tech scene is more developed. So in other industries, you might not just know where to start the approaching for funding, to seek funding. So that's not something that is anyone's fault. It's more like when the ecosystem in the creative industries develop a bit more, then I bet there will be some really great cases. And that's what I believe in. For sure.
Well, yeah. You mentioned how to talk to investors. I guess we could talk about that. How to talk to investors, and well, you mentioned storytelling. Maybe one thing is to emphasize is that you don't go storytelling to an investor. You need to have sort of solid data, and the investors will go and double check what you say, and they will check the competitor scene if they are not familiar with the industry, etc. But your 5 cents about how to talk to an investor, how to approach them sort of more sort of concretely.
So as well as when I first entered this ecosystem, this startup ecosystem in Finland, everyone just wants to talk about tech. All the funding options are for tech. And I'm more into like consumer business.
Yeah.
And you do not give up. You keep asking, who do I talk to if I want to find out about consumer business? And you just keep talking. And then I found a lady who does fashion and textile. But she's like, you're welcome to join if you can't find any other consumer business. But, you know, at least there is someone, eventually you will find it. And then eventually also I found someone who could recommend me to somebody else that actually got some funding through some other instrument. So you just have to keep asking.
Yeah.
Just ask.
But with what do you go to talk to an investor, Milja?
Well, it depends, of course, what's the context. If it's a pitching event, and that's their first touch for your business, that's the first time they hear about your business, you might just do something memorable to start with, because the first thing to do as a first encounter is to be remembered, and then later maybe you get to talk about your product or something. But firstly, just investors are humans. So maybe you can just talk about the weather or what they're doing at Christmas. So maybe start with that instead of pitching straight away, I want your money. So start with something soft.
Oh gosh, this is a Finnish moment, start with a chit chat. Yes,
I know it's hard because I hate small talk. I'm not good at that. I know it's not easy. And just tell it, when I first talked to some investors, I thought that they were some higher beings, and I was gonna shit myself. I was afraid of saying something stupid. Now I'm definitely not afraid of saying anything. I have to say it. But I just remember I was afraid of saying something stupid, so I ended up being really stiff. But now, when I work with investors, we don't really talk about the hard topics. We talk about soft topics, like what are you doing at Christmas, or did you have a fun time at that event? Did you find any interesting cases? Or you can just approach a human being, and that actually helps to build the trust, and later talk about the product. That, hey, actually, it was nice to meet you there. I was thinking that maybe you wanna hear about my business too. I'm happy to share. And if you're not interested, maybe you know someone who is.
Well, I want to hear when you get over that fence and you get a meeting with an investor. With what do you go? How to be prepared to go?
I go with everything.
Yes.
Because it depends on their level of interest and then who you actually end up having the meeting with.
Yes.
Because someone can book you with, say, someone who is supposed to screen you, but then that person, the boss, decide to join. You never know. You need your pitch. You need your financial focus. You need your track record, everything, your CV, everything. Whatever they ask, you should have it.
Yes.
There's no excuse to say, I'm not prepared. You should be prepared for any kind of conversation, from the very beginning kind of introduction to something really deep that you
Yeah.
go and talking about the numbers or about consumer behaviors and things like this. So you should have everything prepared. Maybe you don't talk about everything, you only talk about the things that they ask for.
Yeah.
But if they ask for something, you better have it.
Yes.
Absolutely agree. Like you gotta be prepared, and you never know if you have a 10-minute slot with them or 1 hour, or they might be like, I'm gonna jump in a car in 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes. Then you just gotta deliver what you can in 3 minutes.
Well, that's probably the first thing that you want to ask them is like, how much time will I get from you today? So that you know how to calibrate your pitch and you know where you are in terms of the sort of attention span of that person. So first things, check what's the time slot that they have that day, and then sort of choose. You may have a longer pitch or a shorter pitch, longer pitch, shorter pitch, and then the background materials that you can sort of pull out from your back pocket with numbers, projections, competitor analysis, and other reasoning why your product or service is superior to everyone else's. Right? Anything else?
I think that sums it up pretty well.
Okay. We have only a few minutes left, and there is so much still to talk about. I mean, maybe just quick before we dive into the pitches, are there some red flags or green flags that you might want to highlight to our pitchers that you've seen lately, sort of in pitches you probably both listen to quite many of them?
I'm just going to say that you're going to do great, and just put your everything out there, and it's okay. It's going to do great, and you have many opportunities to pitch in your life. So this is just one of them. You just do your best, and it's going to be great. That's all.
And well, one of the red flags I would say if a founder cannot make decisions. So we live in an age that is becoming more and more uncertain. As a founder, you are the leader of your team and the business. That it is very important that you are able to make a decision amongst uncertainty.
Yeah.
If you make a bad decision, it's experience. If you make a good decision, it's confirmation. But you have to make that decision.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't go anywhere.
Well, we also spoke about pivoting and being you know,
Yeah.
able to assess. Yeah.
So yes, everything is so uncertain, but somehow we have to go. We go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
2 minutes left. Broaden the topic a little bit to the sort of ecosystem talk. Is there anything else? Of course, FiBAN is now active in the creative space. You have founded a Creative Angels initiative. Is there something else that you would sort of encourage people to look out for, and also for the enablers in the room? What needs there are, if you can identify some concrete needs that creative startups have, and the enablers in the space could work on to develop?
Well,
Big questions too.
Yeah, big questions. Well, I'm working on to bring all of you together, like investors who are curious about creative industries, and the experts of the creative industries, and the entrepreneurs, because I think there's a lot of bridge building there to be done. A lot of investors who would like to invest into creative industries, but they don't know how, when, or where to find them. So that's one thing, tackling there. And then, of course, how to approach an investor, that side, from the entrepreneur side. And we have Creative Angels dinners coming, actually with Oddfest. So there's still some wait. You can join the wait list, but it's full. But on the 10th of December is our next and first one that we done in collaboration, and we're going to have more in the spring. And hopefully doing more events with them and building that initiative.
Great. Sounds really good. Anything from your side, Kai?
I think being a creative is the best competitive advantage that you have right now. When AI can do everything, AI cannot be creative.
Exactly.
So stay creative, love your art, work on your art, hone your art, and this is going to be your advantage forward.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Ending words. There's nothing more to add to this, really. Milja and Kai, a warm thank you for sharing your insights today. Thank you. Thank you. Great. We venture, as I said, into a break for about 15 minutes. So go and get familiar with the last spring's pre-incubator participants on their desks and get to know each other. And be sure to be back here in your seats at 2:30. See you shortly. Okay, time to move on with the program. Kindly ask Krista to ring the bell so that everybody can... The discussion was just a warm-up act for the actual program of the day. So I'll give you just a minute to find your seats and get ready. So welcome back everyone here in Marsio and friends following the stream online. It's time to move on with the demo program. And we're about to hear, while people are finding their seats, 6 early-stage creative founders who pitched what they've been developing here in Aalto Creatives Pre-incubator this autumn. So the format of the pitch is as follows. Everybody has 3 minutes to deliver the pitch. And if it runs over, there is Madame Krista with the bell ringing it. Like so. And then I might come and cordially escort you. Oh, no, I won't escort you off stage, but you know, it's a sign for you to wrap up the pitch. And then we will move on to our prestigious jury, which is not a jury, but that's what's been written here. Consider it more as a panel of experts who are here to give feedback and guidance to the teams. So mind you, this is not competition. But it's still, a stressful place to be here in the spotlight. So I really invite everyone to show the kind of support to the pitchers as you would like to receive if you were here on the spot. Before we get going, we should say hello to the jury there in the corner, but also behind me, I believe. Let's start with Kati Uusirauha. Welcome to the panel. Kati is the director of EIT Culture and Creativity North, but you've been involved for many, many years in internationalization, exports, securing funding, etc. for creative industry companies. And your previous job was with the UniArts Hub Pre-incubator at the University of Arts in Helsinki. So welcome, Kati. With this background, any words of wisdom or encouragement to the pitchers?
I don't know about wisdom at this stage of the year, but at this time of the year. But I always admire people who have the courage to step on stage and present their ideas. So I'm expecting to hear tremendous stuff and all the support for them.
Excellent. Thank you. Then we have Fredrik Sirén. Smile and wave.
Hello.
There we are. Fredrik is a business coach from Aalto Creatives fellow campus incubator Turbiini from Metropolia University of Applied Sciences. And Fredrik has been an entrepreneur for 25 years before joining the incubator, working in service design, advertisement and gaming sectors. And now for 4 years you've been working, as I said, with the incubators to facilitate the success of future generation of talent. Fredrik, your last words for people to pitch?
It'll be fine. Just go there and be yourself. Don't do a role, do yourself. It'll be okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Fredrik. A little bit more energy, maybe. Yes. Okay, and moving on, we have Linda sitting next to Fredrik. Linda Hasi. Linda is a finance and operations lead at Innovestor, a Finnish investment manager with over 10 years of startup experience and a passion for creative brand-driven businesses. Welcome to the jury or panel, Linda. What about you? Do you have any words of encouragement to our pre-incubator participants?
I don't know if I have anything to add, but good luck to everyone.
There we are. Thank you. And finally, we say hi to Timo Heikkilä, who has worked almost 20 years in the tech industry, Samsung and Nokia, for example, and of it most recently 7 years as a founder and CEO for Popit, which is a digital health startup. And you bring a hands-on expertise in startup business and product development, as well as financing and sales. So Timo, welcome. Your advice or comments?
Well, thank you very much. I would say that you'll do nicely. So everybody is here to support you, and no need to be stressed or worried. It will all go very well.
Yes, we are here to support you. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so we have 6 pitches coming your way, and they will be delivered in 2 slots, so 3 and 3, with a break in between. And we will start with Markus Kirjonen, who is a doctoral researcher here at Aalto University. Markus is doing his PhD on the topic of virtual reality movement and interaction. Today, Markus will introduce Loco VR to us, and please, a warm welcome to Markus. Come on stage. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay, if you've ever jumped around in virtual reality like this, you've probably felt pretty motion sick. I know I have. That's why our team is making games that solve the VR motion sickness problem, enabling broader audiences and new types of games in virtual reality. Motion sickness in VR is a big problem. Up to 70% of players experience motion sickness, and it is the #1 reason why new players have a bad time in virtual reality. Fortunately, our team has figured out a way to avoid the motion sickness problem. In our games, we use a combination of first and third-person viewpoints during gameplay. We manipulate the camera and the player avatar, enabling dynamic and expressive movement without making people sick. We've tested this with over 30 players, and not a single person has felt motion sickness while playing. Looking at the VR market, while it is still growing, it has been estimated that that growth might slow down during upcoming years. However, we believe that by solving this VR motion sickness problem, we can help expand the market by bringing in new players who otherwise would not have played, as well as making it possible to make new kinds of games that were not possible to make before. Looking at how some of the most popular VR games deal with movement without causing sickness nowadays, there are a few common approaches. There is pointing and teleporting. There are vignettes which cover up part of your vision when you move. And then there's simply keeping the player in one place the whole game, like Beat Saber does. However, these are all compromises and severely limit the kinds of games that you can make. Our business model is straightforward. We make and sell games. The top-earning VR games have made over 100 million in lifetime revenue, and very many of them were made by small teams just like ours. On our team, we have a combination of research and games industry background. Our research lead and business lead both have over 20 years of experience in the games industry and have launched successful games and companies. Our development team is made up of people who have done research into virtual reality gameplay and movement here at Aalto University. We are looking to become a world-leading VR company, enabling novel and accessible games. We are looking for anyone who's interested in what it is that we're doing and interested in virtual reality, whether you're a player or a potential development collaborator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Markus. Great job. Don't go too far. Don't come near. So we stay in the frame. Okay, without any hesitation, who wants to start in the jury?
That would be me.
That's Kati, of
Thanks.
course.
I remember I was in a startup in the late 90s. We did 3D content for Glasstronics glasses. And at the time, the motion sickness obviously was a big problem for the producers as well. It was terrible to develop anything because you couldn't test it properly. But how do you see the kind of the future of the glasses? How big a phenomenon it will be in the future? Because there will be no doubt any VR, any kinds of other VR adaptations in terms of technology and environments?
Yeah, that's a good question. And VR has come a long way since the days that you're describing, especially with Vive in the past, and then Meta moving into the industry at the beginning of, the 2020s. We've seen a move from a more niche audience where it was VR enthusiasts playing to more mass market audiences with people picking up devices like the Quest 3, where you don't even need to hook it up to a computer anymore. Now you can just put it on and play games. So you've seen younger audiences get into VR and try out games like Gorilla Tag or Beat Saber. So we've seen the barriers of entry go down from very massive and expensive computers to just lightweight headsets that cost around 300 euros. I think that trend will continue. At the same time, VR will probably always remain somewhat of a niche. It won't become the next mobile phone next year at least. But that's okay for us. You know, we are making games for people who enjoy virtual reality, and that is our audience.
Okay, thanks. And thanks for your pitch. It was very fluent. So the way of presenting was really, really nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who wants to go next?
I can go next. Exactly the same words. So your pitch was really good. I really liked hearing it and like watching you on stage. I think you had like a calm presence, and also what I noticed is that I was having some like questions in my mind when as you were flipping through the slides, but then you actually countered those arguments already. So you have clearly had already quite a lot of feedback on this as well. I can certainly say that with my past employers, I've seen that this kind of this challenge exists, and there have been technological like advancements towards solving it, but still, as you know, it still is around, and it is limiting the user audience as well. But making games, I was a bit puzzled about that. So aren't there any easier ways to actually go to market? I'd say like you did argument again there quite cleverly that like small teams have made games before, but I think you have to have several games in order to break through. So why don't you, for example, partner with large VR manufacturers or smartphone manufacturers? What do you think?
Yeah, this is a good question. And we have talked about licensing this technology to existing game companies, as well as the potential of maybe collaborating with existing studios here in Finland. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm allowed to say about that. But more big picture, looking at the core of our team, all of the team members are very interested in indie game development, and most of the members have released some kind of indie games already. So game development is really at the heart of all of the members on our team. So that is why that has been the most straightforward way to think about how it is that we'll make money. We are interested in exploring other avenues, but right now we consider ourselves game developers.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for a great presentation. Very fluent, very true. I think you hit all the points that you were supposed to hit. Pretty much there. I especially like that the problem or the need is well defined, and it's clear, the clearest picture, like 70%. As long as the statistics are true, which it probably is, that's a good number, and also showing that instead of just even if the market would be sort of not maybe stalling but slowing down a bit, that maybe with the add of this motion like your type of technology, if you will, it could grow the market even a bit, which is ambitious, and that's why my constructive criticism. So thank you for that. So my constructive criticism is actually pretty much the same. That I think. I was maybe not expecting, but I was thinking that you were going to go to more that you're developing a technology to a type of thing that a gameplay type that you might license then to other people to actually make things. Because you won't see the market growth by just you guys adopting it. I don't think it's very easy to protect it either, if it's just a way of doing games. So that would be my, if I would invest in you, then that would be a sort of a question that, okay, is that the right way to go? But again, like the whole thing that you're thinking about it, you have an experienced team that has been there doing this stuff. You're on the right track, you have a clear problem and a definition where you need to go. So all of those things are good. And then it's more about like finding the optimal solution, I think, for them. That was not really a question, that was just thank you. It was good presentation.
Thank you for the feedback, and that's something to think about, definitely.
Thank you. I'm afraid, Linda, you have 10 seconds to give feedback, but feel free.
Thank you for the clear presentation. Are there any similar solutions in the market? How does yours differ from others?
Yeah, nobody is approaching it like we are. In fact, we just published a research paper about this last year, so it's very early stages, and We saw some of the other ways of dealing with it, but we think ours works better and feels better, and that's what our players have said as well.
You have something to back it with. Great, great question. Great, thank you for a great pitch. One more round of applause.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we will invite on stage Henri Timperi. Henri is a Helsinki-based designer, artisan, and visual artist with an entrepreneurial background in furniture design and event production. Different worlds, great. In recent years, he has focused on glass and lighting design as well as immersive spatial design. And today he will be presenting one of his distinctive glass lighting creations. So Henri, a warm welcome to you. The stage is yours. Fantastic.
Thank you. Hello everyone. My name is Henri Timperi and I'm here to introduce you the Midnight Sun glass ceiling light. My company's purpose is to create warm atmosphere to homes and collective spaces through high quality design. The problem I've noticed is that the market and spaces are full of generic mass-produced lighting with no character, and there's a need for high-quality design lighting with compelling stories. The solution Midnight Sun offers is a warm summer atmosphere combined with you can see here, the unique light reflection pattern, which is inspired by the northern midnight sun, which I find so magical that I wanted to share it with you. The timing is perfect for this kind of product because the high-end design lighting market is growing faster than the general decorative lamp market. Also, Finnish glassmaking tradition has been officially recognized as UNESCO Intangible Heritage recently. The total addressable market is 31 billion. The serviceable available market is 5.5 billion. And in the early phase, the serviceable available obtainable market is 5.5 million, and that could grow later on. The target segments for the product are interior architects and designers, premium design retailers, and people who value high-end design objects. The advantage we have over our competition is the unique combination of craft heritage, warm atmosphere, high-quality design, and modern lighting technology. Here you can see a close-up of the product. The materials are glass, brass, and LED components. We already have working tested prototype ready. Next, we're going to do a 10-piece series in high-profile piloting project. And next, we're going to scale the manufacturing and sales to new markets and launch new products. I'm the founder, designer, and project lead of the company. We already have contractors in production who have confirmed their interest in manufacturing the product. The team will be recruited around the product after the piloting phase. We are looking for now a 30,000 euro funding for the piloting phase, also mentoring networks of interior architects and also international opportunities to showcase the product. Thank you.
Excellent, Henri. Bang on the money with 1 second left, so that was great job. Okay, who wants to start?
I can go next.
Go ahead, Timo.
Yes. So, so many questions I have to choose. In terms of commercializing your solution, and by the way, a really nice pitch, thank you for that. But when you go to market, are you planning to sell under your own brand through your own store, or are you going to use other channels? And if so, what have you thought about, like the pros and cons with regards to both?
Very good question. Of course, I've been thinking about pros and cons, and at this point, I'm open to different kind of directions, because first we want to do the pilot phase with a small-scale series. And after that, of course, there are different kind of ways to go, that to sell under own brand, or then maybe do collaboration with some bigger lighting brands. So first the pilot, then we'll see.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. Inspiring presentation. Very nice looking lamp, and you really look the part too. Also, like in a positive sense, in the thing that you're able to this. Yes, it feels like you have a feeling for this product. It matters to you, and that translates. That's why I said it, not any other way, because it translates into how you do it. So very positive in that sense about those things. So we don't have too much time for questions now, so maybe ask them later also. But I'd reckon that to help you along that road is also a matter of understanding how do you scale it to production to make it an actual business. And that's probably something that I would use the money for, or at least find out the things about, because at the end of the day, it's just about getting sell and finding the distributor or the clients. So just doing it is sort of the way you want to go. But then if you want to make a business of it, get even close to the 5.5 million, then you have to also understand the production side of things. So I hope that, do you have any experience on that?
Experience in what exactly?
Like the product producing more than hand producing, so to speak. Or are you just going to do hand, like by hand, or is it meant to be in industrial somewhat scale?
The glass parts are going to be kind of like hand blown. So, but there are different kind of companies who does this. So I think it's scalable, but of course it's going to be a little curated, so it won't be like mass produced.
Okay, yes, obviously. But thank you. Nice presentation.
Linda, go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation and very interesting product you have. My question is, have you tested the market somehow?
Well, not in sales, but this has been exhibited in Helsinki Design Week last year, and also this was part of my exhibition in Finnish Glass Biennale's main exhibition last summer in Riihimäki. So in that sense, I've gotten a lot of feedback, which has been all good. So in that sense, I've gotten interesting questions about it and interest in that way. So in that sense, yes.
Very nice.
Kati.
Yes, thank you very much. Very pro pitching, I would say. Lovely to see this kind of handicraft pitched in a very credible way. Thank you for that. Actually, I would have loved to see the actual product live here on stage as well. So maybe you want to think about bringing next time the product also to see, because light and the glass are, you know, they are seen in different ways, in different lights and different occasions. So it would have been lovely to see it live. Colleagues already pretty much covered many of the questions that I had as well. But as we know, the glass production know-how has diminished in Finland quite steeply during the last decades already. So if you would succeed in the international markets and there would be a lot of requests for your product, do you have the makers to do this? To blow the glass?
Yes, as I already mentioned, there are glass blowers who will do the product if I get the green light. So we have.
Okay, so yeah, good.
Problem solved.
Then I'm convinced.
Yeah, Timo has final question here.
Yes, one final question. So actually what Linda said quite a lot resonated with me. So would it be possible for you to do, for example, test sales? So like a small down payment from a potential customer, and then they would get the product once it's ready, and then you have raised your capital. And if it doesn't happen, then you could return the money. That would,
yeah, I think so.
Cool. I think that would really help in raising the 30K that you're looking for.
Yeah, that is an option.
Like a proof of concept at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, why not?
Do I still have time?
35, 4,
Okay.
3, 30, 1, 2, no, 30 seconds.
Okay, no, please.
Go.
What's the brand positioning for the product? Is it like luxury, affordable luxury? What would be?
Well, I might not use luxury, but premium, like affordable premium, so that it wouldn't be totally over the top, but still like available in Finnish like premium design.
Do you have an idea of the price point? Sorry,
well, yes, I have an idea of the price point, but I would rather like put it down after the piloting series when we get it like sorted out.
Great, thanks.
Got it. Thank you so much for the great pitch. Thank you. Thank you, Henri. Moving on, the third pitch of the day, we will welcome on stage Chuchung Wang. Chuchung is a product designer who creates simple and meaningful solutions for everyday life. She focuses on turning real user needs into thoughtful products. Today, she will present her idea that makes pets mealtime healthier and more enjoyable. Please help me welcome Chuchung. The stage is yours.
Hello everybody, I'm Trent. Today I'm going to introduce you Nozzle, a personalized slow feeding boat. So the first question is, what is slow feeding boat? It's a kind of special boat having the raised obstacle in the bottom. So in this case, it can slow down the pet's eating speed as well as it provide them extra mental enrichment. Right now on the market, there are none of the slow feeding boats then could fulfill the requirement that it's functional, it can slow down your pet's eating speed, as well as it's look good to put in your house, and it can customize your pet's name on it in a meaningful way. So we propose a solution that CNC wood feeding boat personalized with pet's name. Here is what the products look like. It's made out of one piece of wood, so it's seamless, as well as for each boat, it took 1 to 2 hours to produce from a big original material. Besides wood, we also looking for other material. For example, we find this Hymex. It's a kind of colorful and food-safe solid surface material. So it really opened up the possibility of the appearance and the customization. As we all know, the pet market are growing in so fast speed every year. And last year, our target market, slow feeding boat market, is already reached 800 million. And here's some more evidence to show that the market is there. Over 72% of the EU and US family own their own pets. And in TikTok, the hashtag about dog boat or customized pet doll is already hit over 200 million views. Our business model is quite simple. It's direct to customers through online link. We are going to sell each boat between 70 to 120 euro and control each piece under 34 euro. Right now on the market, we have some competitor, but none of it, like us, can fulfill the requirement that it use food-safe material, and it can customize the pet name in a meaningful way, and you don't need to wait over months to get your final product, and it looks pretty. So we are now on the first stage of our journey. We are going to polishing our products more, and we are looking for a funding for 20,000 euro to support us. And right now, I'm the only member of our team. I'm a product designer and a brand designer. We are looking for a co-founder who is familiar with marketing. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me or yes, thank you so much for listening.
Great. Great job, Chuchung. Fredrik has his hand up.
Yes, so thank you for a great presentation. You have a really, really good presentation there. It's very clear, it's very easy to understand all of the elements. So the elements are right there. You hurried a bit, but it's a nervous situation. And that's how much time did you use?
It was just 20 seconds were left.
Yes. So slowing down a bit would be great, but it was great. My question is actually the funding that you're requesting. What would you use the funding for?
We are going to buy more original material. For example, I mentioned Hymex. We have to contact that company to get some example piece, as well as to buy more wood to test which wood will be the perfect material. As well as we need to book some CNC studio slot to produce more, because right now you can see it's in the round shape, but if the dog's name is longer, how can we salute that? We are going to maybe make a bigger one or in other kind of shape. So we will use the funding mostly to do more tests about the product.
Excellent. The product looks really, really good.
Thank you.
And like it really looks really good, and it looks ready. Actually, I'm going to leave some questions for other people too. Looks really good. Good presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Linda, go ahead.
Thank you on my side as well. It was very informative presentation. It had all the building blocks in place. So how about the production? Where are you going to produce these?
For this one, like we only use the CNC studio. It's a kind of big machine, and you put the wood there.
Probably, I don't know, yeah.
And anyway, just said it is not made by manually, it's just made by machine. So after we set up the model and send it to the machine, it will cut directly, and we don't need to do extra surface treatment, like polishing it manually. We just need to, for example, for the wood, we need to use the oil to coat it.
And how well is it scaling?
How well is it scaling? How, if you're going to have sort of after raising your financing, you're going to get 2,000 bowls order for next week.
Yeah.
Are you able to? Is that?
Yes, exactly.
That is a question because I'm thinking that the price of it is quite high, so I'm thinking that the order won't be over 1,000 at one time, maybe 100. And
you're able to produce.
Yes. We just need to contact different factory with the CNC machine. We can use several producer or the factory.
Okay, maybe that's something to consider. Next. Yeah, thank you.
Be prepared for the orders that are coming in. Up next, Kati.
Yes, thank you for a clear pitch. And also, I think that when you're talking about pets is a very emotional thing. I think you can, up the beginning of the, emotional side of things and try to describe the pet life somehow, so that you really make the pet's health better and life quality of life higher and so on. So you just boost the story a bit in the beginning, I would say. How about the sales channels? Where were you thinking of selling this? Online in your own shop, or would you work with the retailers, or how do you see the future of selling?
We are consider only selling in our own shop because, we have to customize it, and the pet owner should type in their pet's name, and I imagine the best solution is once the pet owner type in the name of it, it can instant modeling, to show what this bowl look like for the customer. They don't need to guess, or they can only know the outcome after they receive the products. I want them to know what they are going to buy instantly. So it depends on, we have to build an online shop.
Online shop, not a physical shop, but online.
Online.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much for a very clear and highly visual presentation. That's always appreciated. And very good that you brought a demo as well. I think this is, it always makes it much more concrete. I actually had a question about your logistics, because what you're developing here and what you described, it's not exactly a walk in the park. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but still the customization part. So it does take time. It does cost you money. So have you been thinking about how, what kind of capacity and what kind of a time it would take to process one order, and whether it makes sense to actually buy your own CNC machine versus then have a partner do it? Because then wherever that bowl is being manufactured, it makes sense for that partner to also ship it. And do the order fulfillment, but you could also do it yourself. So just wondering if you are planning to do any of that sort, or do you have a partner in mind already?
Right now we don't have a partner right now, and I'm thinking that buying a CNC machine maybe is too much for right now stage, and yes, and we'll consider that later.
Okay.
After we got a real order. And for you mentioned that the customized process will be so long.
Yeah, it can take quite a long time because it's not each product is individually manufactured and then it's shipped. And do you intend to do that yourself? That shipping part, or would that be also outsourced to a partner who would then do the CNC machining, or what's your thinking on that?
We are going to find a partner for us to doing this. Yeah.
Okay.
and trying to automate all the modeling process online. So we don't need to do it manually after get an order. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Got it. Thank you very much, Jushung. A warm congrats to Jushung. Thank you. Okay, it's time for another quick break. We'll continue right here on this stage at 3:20 with 3 more pitches to go. So see you shortly. Time to move on with the program. So I gather everybody sort of smelled the sense of coffee, and there was an anticipated start for the coffee break. But there will be some coffee left also after this slot, so bear with us. The poor jury is now there, like looking sad for not understanding that people were sneaking out behind the corner to get some refreshments. But you'll be inspired by the spectacular pitches that you're about to hear. Okay, let's welcome the 4th pitch of the day. It comes from Svetomila Mikhailova. Svetomila is a researcher and a software engineer. She's currently a postdoc at Aalto University, interested in how humans interact with technology. And today, Svetomila will introduce Viewpoint Escape for us. So give a roaring applause despite your coffee cups. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Svetomila, and I'm going to present to you our work on escape rooms from a different angle. So, oh, I don't have a clicker. Sorry.
No worries.
So, yeah. So, because I'm sure that it's not clear what this means, to explain what we're doing, I want to start with asking you, how many of you have ever played video games? Okay, a lot of people. Then I guess that you're very well familiar that in video games you can experience the world from several different perspectives. So from the eyes of the person playing in third person or from some view above. So in real life we only experience the world in first person, which you might think, yeah, of course, it's obvious. Has any of you ever wondered, is it possible to experience the world from in third person, for example? Okay, yeah, so I had never wondered this either, as many of you, but my 8-year-old son, who plays too much video games, was wondering once, Mom, can I see myself in third person? And I thought that was a really cool idea, so this is what this pitch is about. So how it works is that you can place a camera behind like the person or in front of them or somewhere else in the room, and with VR glasses they can see the stream of the camera and therefore seeing themselves interacting with the world and moving around from some different perspective. This turned out to be quite fun and enjoyable to do, and also not very easy, because even trivial everyday things such as grabbing an object or walking over some very small obstacle could be quite challenging and really cool to do. So we thought that we might build a product around it. The product is equipment and software, but also an escape room that is designed to have challenges that are fun to do if you see yourself from a different perspective. We will target individual persons as well as company teams. So we are competing with everything that a person can do in their free time, but we consider our direct competition the instances of the so-called immersive location-based entertainment, such as escape rooms or VR arcades, laser tag games, and similar. This market is estimated to be about 5 billion today and is projected to grow twice in the next 5 years. We have a technical team that can build the product. And currently we are at the phase where we have some small proof of concept that shows that this is a very cool thing to experience. So we are planning to start to make a prototype and start with some user tests in the Otaniemi campus early next year. If you want to be among the first ones to try this, you can sign up in this Google form, and we will send you a link to book a slot when we start with the beta testing. Thank you.
Hey, what great. Thank you, Svetomila. Okay, Linda has a mic.
Thank you for the clear presentation. My question is, how have you tested the proof of concept?
Yeah, so we have tested only like with a very few people. Yeah, we just tried to put it and do some very small challenges around, like you have to pick something and go over something else and put it somewhere and this kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And how big is the market? Have you researched?
Yeah, so what they call this immersive location-based entertainment, that includes the escape rooms and also like VR arcades and different kind of stuff. So it's estimated to be 5 billion worldwide. Yeah, so yeah, it's like all the reports I found are projecting that it grows. So yeah, it must.
Very good. Thank you.
Shall I go? Yeah. Thank you very much for a very cute pitch. I really see that you relate to the idea because through your son, and you have a living world cause to do this. My question is for you: that where do you see yourself with this idea in, let's say, 5 years? What is your ultimate dream? Where do you want to have this applied?
Okay. Well. So when we were discussing how this can scale, because first it can start with an escape room, but this is not like a feasible business that would scale. And we were thinking that one direction to go was to pitch it to other escape rooms. But when we were dreaming about what is possible, we were thinking, okay, imagine some musician is putting somewhere some camera on themselves and it can stream to everyone who can experience what they are seeing. So yeah, but I don't know, maybe more feasible thing is just scaling this to escape rooms and doing some franchise if it's cool. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Of course, it's seemingly early days for you, but
yes.
Because the slide set was quite, let's say, rudimentary and not showing the opportunities so widely. So maybe we want to elaborate the story on this side. That what are the adaptation opportunities here with your invention?
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Timo.
Yes, like already mentioned, very clear presentation. Thank you for that. And I especially enjoyed seeing the roadmap there as well, which shows that you have been thinking about what happens next as well, and then how do you refine your approach. I had one question actually about the product itself. So the problem slide. Or the problem part of the presentation actually took you quite a long time. Maybe you need to try to compress that, because then you didn't have a lot of time to go through the latter slides, and especially with the product slide, that remained a bit unclear to me. So the game content, for example, where does that come from? Is it made by you or a partner or?
Yes, yeah, basically the idea is that we will make these challenges, and but what they will be depends really on the user testing. So we have some ideas in mind, and we have to see what is really good for a lot of people, so yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot. That was really nice. I like that. I mean, it's great, like finding this kind of thing and doing it, and be happy about it. It looked good, and the thing that you tested it. I love when people start testing immediately, doing their stuff. That's a great way to approach a lot of different problems. And that being said, sort of I'm not 100% sure if the solution that you're thinking about is the aim, but the thing that you're doing with that thing, is there other companies that do a third-person view thing? Are there other companies that do it?
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good question. So companies I didn't find. So exactly this thing, doing a product that you can go and pay and experience this, no. But for example, it's a thing, apparently, because if you search in YouTube for third person in real life, there are so many videos, and they have hundreds, thousands of likes. So it seems to be a thing, and people seem to be interested in it. But still, I have not seen a product that.
Yes, because that's sort of my thing, and I'm not. I don't think anyone of us are going to say if it's a good product or solution or not. That's for the market to decide, as it always is. But I sort of felt a bit that you might sort of stumbled upon a thing that could be a thing with the third-person view. So if I would be in your shoes as an entrepreneur, I would look at that a bit more, because I really like that, and it looked like fun just to view, and for different solutions. So yeah, so I liked it very much in that sense. go with your heart. I mean, you're a person that tests things. That's good. Great.
Great.
Let's continue with that.
Thank you. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Svetomila.
Thank you.
A round of applause. The fifth and the penultimate pitch comes from Carl Kublenu. Carl is a software engineer with a cybersecurity background and a PhD at Aalto University. He has a particular interest in AI and spatial occupancy sensing. Today, he will introduce us to Katve Sense. A warm welcome to Carl. Break a leg.
Hi, I'm Carl. I'm here to present Katve Sense. So there's a big problem happening now when it comes to energy efficiency in EU commercial buildings. So they're on a collision course. One, they have to hit energy efficiency targets because of EU regulation, and then two, buildings are blind because of privacy issues and no one wants cameras looking at them. So to actually, so there's a lot of wastage there in terms of the energy. Now, here comes a solution where we want to actually use existing infrastructure, which is Wi-Fi, to actually detect when there is occupancy within a room, to actually then control heating and other energy usage devices within EU commercial buildings, so that it has a more privacy-focused approach. But now, the reason for this is there are three pillars: regulation, cost, and then privacy. On the regulation side, the building managers, the facility, they have to hit these targets, these energy efficiency targets, and then the cost. Once they reduce energy usage, this is a net positive across board. And then privacy, no one wants cameras. The existing solutions that work internationally are all camera-based, thermal camera-based. So this, in the EU market, we need to have a more privacy-focused solution. So this is how it would work fundamentally. And based on zones, you can actually then heat up zones when there's actual occupancy just by detecting Wi-Fi instead of using cameras or advanced states or basic motion sensors where it goes off when you stay still. Now, on the market size, since we are targeting EU, that is 2.2 million EU commercial buildings. But then we zoom into the Nordics, and then as the beachhead or the starting with Finland, which is privacy-focused and conservative, more as a starting point, and then we elevate from there. So on the competitor analysis side, there are existing solutions that start off on the basic end all the way to the extremely complex end, and we fit at the privacy-focused end and to try and then hit this target market. So we have simulations across different building environments, and we are now actually doing customer discovery so that we can have a more shadow mode pilots where we are just seeing occupancy before we actually do control. So currently I'm the research and team lead, and I'm looking for building automations to actually come in as a team to then get this to be executed. Thank you.
Really well done. Who wants to start? Timo has the mic on.
I can go next because I kind of like seen something similar already a while back, and that leads me to my initial question, which is the competition. So you did have a slide on competition, but for example, a Google search reveals that there are similar technologies in existence. So what's your unique angle? And then a follow-up question to that is that, which is a business question, is that who do you see yourself integrating with? Is it the Wi-Fi, like hotspots, or somebody else?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. So on the competitor side, I did align them from the basic to the more advanced. So the more advanced, they are able to work on the international stage using cameras to detect, obviously, when there is occupancy to then control the heating and other systems. But on the basic end, just by motion, you can then detect. But the privacy focus, which is by just using the existing Wi-Fi and sensing that to then detect, that is where it happens reliably. To do that reliably is the niche that I am targeting, so that it can actually pull through within the EU market space where no one wants to have a camera pointing down on them within their office buildings. And I think the second question was on the market, who I plan to integrate with.
Who would you integrate with?
Yeah, so on the integration and how we initially see it is we have a kit and prove validation to an actual tangible data and results that we can actually go to with some of these, the actual providers of the Wi-Fi devices. So once we have that, we can then go to these partners. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Kati, go ahead.
You know, a cultural researcher here might have got a little bit lost because I don't know the technology and that, but thinking about, I mean, this sounds a tremendous concept and could be widely used, definitely. How much do you know about the international markets, and if you're talking about EU level business here to start with. How about the other big differences in different countries within EU in the infrastructure, and how applicable this concept is for different countries?
Yes. So I did a higher level competitor analysis, which focused, there were a lot of these Western American companies that were using very obvious cameras, but on the EU side, the more existing solutions with the companies come with pre-packaged systems to detect occupancy with motion or presence sensors with the lights, which is a bit more common, but with actual controlling the heating, that is where the challenge remains. So the privacy niche, because to do that, it has to be continuously sensing for occupancy instead of, okay, someone moved, lights come on, but we have to know, is someone still here? So this is the niche that we're targeting with just Wi-Fi, using the shadows that we make from Wi-Fi shadows. So that is the niche that we're targeting. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, thanks a lot, Carl. You're a great person. And you give an aura sort of a person that actually really knows about the subject also. And that's a great seller for you as a future entrepreneur, or as a researcher in this genre. It feels like you care for this stuff, or at least care for finding things out. So I really want to lift that up, because that's great. I don't know about the vibe. It's not for me to say if that's a viable product or not, but that you're even thinking about those things, and you thought about things, and you answered really well the questions too. So that gives you a leg up already in this space. I mean, what I do when I do like these things, it's always about the problem or the need. It's never about the solution. So try to also be, and for every other team also, try to be blind about the solution. It could be that if you really dig into these problem things, the solution might be a bit different, or it's this, or it's something more relevant. So it's basically no question for me other than I think you're on the right path, and you give a good vibe of like knowing about the subject, which is always appreciated. Thank you.
Great. Oh, spontaneous applause. Fantastic. All I can say, Fredrik, great energy. Great energy. Yes, right? Yes.
Yes, thank you for the presentation on my part as well. So I'm interested, how are you going to reach your customers?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in terms of reaching, so this is a problem that the facility managers are facing in terms of the regulation. It is already in effect with new buildings. They have to hit these energy targets. So I have something of an in when even with the outreach. And I've also been reaching out to the building automation experts. They are now seeking AI solutions, and I'm actively trying to bridge some of these collaborative angles that, okay, this could come in, because you need good data for any AI solution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, jury. It's time for the final pitch of the day, and this one will be presented by a duo, by Nikita Rego and Erik Sindonen. Behind the startup, they have a couple of more colleagues as well, namely Dina Dahlman and Eunice Siame-Mono. The startup is called AI Vision Monitor. It's an app that turns any phone or camera into an AI-powered vision assistant that understands and reacts to what it sees. They are building it up to help people and companies automate everyday monitoring in a simple and privacy-safe way. Okay, the stage is yours, guys. Nikita and Erik, welcome.
Hello, we want to present our application called AI Vision Monitor. The concept of this application was born during our research in Metropolia when we stumbled into the issue of how do we measure students' attention retention in real time.
Yes, and we figured out that using these computer vision technologies, it requires a lot of technical skills, and you need to know how to code to set them up. And we developed a application that allows users with average skills to use these technologies on their own devices. We already have a pre-released application in Google Play Store, and we allow the B2C sector now to download the application. They can try out and experiment and find their own use cases, and we get feedback from them. And by allowing users, by creating a low barrier environment, we also ourselves find interesting and unexpected use cases for this application and this technology. And we have not used any money for ads, and at this point, since it's been 100 days since the pre-release, and we already have over 250 downloads. And we are creating a community, and in Discord, for example, and we're working with the feedback we get. And here's our team. Our strength, I think, is in the diversity. We have engineers that are specialized in IT, robotics, in extended reality, construction fields, and each one of us has a prior, albeit small, but entrepreneurial experience. But yeah. Yes, and regarding roadmap, within this application, we want to increase the analyzation speed and accuracy of the application, and we want to integrate a AI assistant that will help users create their own scenarios in a much more user-friendly and easy way, and that will also help us make the analyzation process much more accurate. And we also want to extend the capabilities of the application. We want to have smart home environments integrated, and webhooks, and yeah. We are looking for 100,000 euros in funding, and we want also help in finding more B2B sector use cases for this, and we've had quite a lot of interest and feedback from B2B sector. Yes, so yeah, thank you.
The clock. Well, finish your sentence.
No, I pretty much said it.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you, Nikita and Eric. Right. Let's move a couple of steps this way so we stay in the frame. Yep. There we are. Okay, who wants to go?
I'll start.
Okay, Fredrik,
thanks a lot for presentation. Is it on? Yes, now it's on. So thanks a lot for the presentation. I do have to ask, could you give a use case of what to use your software for? Please, if you could explain a use case. The usability is really varying. For example, you could either do really basic at-home use cases, like you have a dog at home, and you can set up a home camera, and it will alert you when, for example, your dog is chewing on your furniture. Oh. Or maybe jumps on the table, and you're trying to teach the dog not to behave in a certain way, or a cat, or you could have a drone flying over the forest, and for example, it can alert you if it sees smoke coming from somewhere. And the versatility is quite big, and we are still ourselves exploring where are the limits. So
wow.
Thank you. Dan, to explain it, I think I looked down at my paper when you had the comic there, and it went so fast. So I really didn't know what you were talking about, to be honest. Okay. For a while there. So when you do this presentation, we're try to give a good like it's good to start with a story, like you can at least like something and just present that.
Yes.
And it's not taking away from what you want to do at all. But I honestly missed a bit what you're actually doing.
Okay.
And we're already in application. So, but saying that, like having this privacy safe way to teach an AI or something to monitor things and do like those things. Obviously, a field that has a lot of minds with the privacy things. So if you can navigate that and have an AI help to monitor things at home or at your property or something else that is at the same time secure and private, bully to you. That could definitely be a way to go. And also as a bonus point for you guys that you have like, was it a 4-person team, I think? So you already have people and it seems that you also invested to it and you have the personality to do it. So I think you have something there. I wish you all the best of luck. But one thing more, and this applies to everyone who's talked today, it'd be good also when you're asking for funding that you specify what you're asking funding for. Because like anyone can throw out the number there, but it has to show something that actually takes it forward. So thank you.
I can clarify, like we are asking for the funding to, like we showed the roadmap and we want to like work on developing the application and we want to invest more in like, for example, consultations regarding security and also like for marketing. So, yeah.
Good. Yeah, Linda.
Okay, thank you. You already asked majority of my questions. It's good that you already have a team and you already had some traction, so that's positive. But I also missed a little bit the problem phase. So that's why it's a little bit hard to comment. But can you specify who is your customer?
I can, like the idea of the application itself in a nutshell is that these machine vision or like computer vision technologies, they're like even in like industry, like they're quite highly like technical things, and we made an app that allows users to it's a more user-friendly way to kind of use these computer vision technologies. So you just make a scenario, and you have an AI that compares like the frames it takes from the video feed, and it compares it to that scenario, and it makes a decision, does that trigger, and like it alerts you when it triggers. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so cultural researcher here once again. So can you tell me a little bit more about this product? So if there's a dumb camera just seeing things but not interpreting, I understand that now AI helps the camera to interpret, but what do you need in practice for existing device to operate this system?
Your phone works, like any device with a camera, like where you it's if you have Google Play Store or we're going to expand to iOS, so any device that can download the app and has a camera hooked up to it, it can be used on anything.
So any device that has an online connection?
No, well, yes, also with the online connection.
Yeah. Thank you. A humanist thanks you. But I would also, referring to what Fredde here said, that it would be lovely to somehow open up more the problem or the situation of all the dumb cameras in the world, and then how you actually help them to become more helpful in different parts of our lives.
Actually, also on a little addition that this whole process can be also run locally. So if you have a computer, and it could be all processed on a computer if it's good enough to process the AI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Put this all in the beginning and take some time to explain for the dummies, for dumb people to understand. So because it opens up your story in a much better way that way. But
Eric,
thank you.
Would you like to add something?
Maybe later. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we take this feedback, valuable, constructive feedback. Timo?
So you're basically giving life to a lot of old phones, a new life. I like that. A few things. I think at the moment your presentation is fairly technical. I would wager a guess that majority of the people in this room do not know what a webhook is.
Yes.
So you can get rid of those and just talk about the value instead. But this is a platformic technology, isn't it? So right now you are a bit hunting your perfect use case, but actually your users already have the perfect use cases in mind. So what if you would actually just offer this as a platform, and then you are basically monetizing that platform, and then let everybody else think about the suitable use cases.
That is, in a way, exactly what we're doing right now. Since we released the application, and you can just, with amounts of money, you can buy credits for use. And if you want to automate, we're working on creating a subscription for automatization. So if you want to use webhooks, yeah, that's exactly what we're aiming to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. Picking up as last pitches. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, jury. And as I said, this concludes the pitches of today. Well, what to say? One more round of applause for all the brave pitches. Please come here if there is there more people behind there, hiding behind the... They should all be in front of us taking a bow, but I guess they are having drinks or something. Oh, it's just, okay. Well, just these guys. Okay, well, we'll sort of thank you also in person later during the final break networking. Okay, so jury, thank you so much for your constructive and valuable feedback. Is there something that you'd like to say to summarize the day? Key takeaways of the demo?
So thanks to all the teams, if you're still here, I hope. I mean, you did a great job, and I don't know how much you presented so far, but now you've done it at least once. Oh. So great, and a great job, and like, as I said before you started also, just be you. You don't have to be some American guy who looks good on television. You have to just be you and be convincing, and that's already a long step. Yeah. And remember, it's more about your self-development and moving things forward, and then the solution will find itself. Thank you. It was great pitches.
Anyone else? Final words? In the meantime, they're deciding. I just want to say that they were themselves, and this is really a great platform to sort of give out the first pitch of this product, this service that they've been developing. I really, really appreciate and take my virtual hat off for being so brave and to come and test the waters in the first occasion with their new ideas. Yeah, Timo, do you like
exactly what I wanted to say as well. So the hard part is actually getting on stage and telling a clear story. And you all succeeded in that. So that was a brilliant achievement, in my opinion. And then the other thing is that everybody had a really clean presentation without the clutter, and that's another thing that is surprisingly difficult. So 2 out of 2. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Kati.
Yeah, we had a warm-up discussion there, but, in the back room, in the artist green room, and we talked about users and how do all ideas relate to users and the existing markets and how to add value there. We also talked about preserving existing skills and, for example, handicraft skills. We also talked about, how would I say, we talked about degrowth, and I would connect that to also smart thinking of existing things and making some phenomena in our world better in utilizing existing stuff already. And I think actually all these ideas were somehow related to these themes that we talked back there, which I really like, because I think that these were also, all the ideas were clever in the sense that we truly are finding out new solutions to make things smarter. And not just, for example, generate more consumption or so on. So this is, I thank for all the people who pitched for this, and also for the courage to come up on stage and do it live here in front of us, and expose yourself as an idea, as an inventor, so to speak, for us. Thank you for that.
Indeed. Thank you, Kati. Anything else, Linda?
Well, thank you, all of you, and well done. It's time to relax now, I guess.
Yeah, you're waiting for your coffee that you didn't get on the break. Well, just final words, practicalities, now that we're coming to the end of the stage program. But as a final reminder, I want to say if you're working on an idea, startup idea, or for creative industry business that you'd like to get support for, keep in mind that Aalto Creatives are accepting applications for the next spring's Pre-incubator program. So send in the applications before the 9th of February. The QR code is behind me. Who knows? Next time it will be you pitching in springtime here and getting those marvelous feedbacks from the panel of experts, not jury. Okay, well, thank you everyone here in Marsio and friends following the event online. It's time for some more coffee, first coffee for jury, so maybe we'll give space for them to go first. We hope that you have enjoyed the day here, and I'll take this opportunity to thank Aalto Creatives friends here and wish you all the best and the happy approaching holiday season. Thank you very much. Thank you.